Hey, welcome to the Trivium Talk Podcast. We are up on episode 7 at this point. By the time this comes out, we're a couple of days from the Open. Matt's going to take us through the quick hits about the Open real quickly. However, before we do that, I do want to acknowledge something. Some of you guys may have gotten the email. You've seen some posts about it. But one of our own, our coach Christy, received an unexpected diagnosis of breast cancer. And so we are making the Open a lot about her and supporting her this year. We hope to see you there. If you've got any questions whatsoever about that, come talk to me, come talk to Matt. As you saw in the email, how we can support Christy right away is, man, she loves a good hug. And if you got some cool music that's uplifting, that makes you happy, she wants to know what that is so she can add it to her playlist. Matt, take us through the quick hits.
Yeah, so Nate had a great idea. How can we kind of roll all this into one? So this year for the Open, we got a couple ways that we can kind of give back to Christy. And part of it, it's going to be super simple. If you just sign up for the Open on the official CrossFit.com, games.crossfit.com, and submit a score, we're going to donate $5 for every score submission within the CrossFit Trivium community. So easy $5 given back right there. Also, if you sign up and do the Open in our Saturday SmackDown Heat, we're going to donate another $5 there. So if you sign up for Heat on the Push Press app and we can check you in, we're going to roll that into see how many people did that Saturday. $5 for every person that did that. And if you submit a score, it's another $5. So you can potentially give $10 every week for 3 weeks. That's $30 a member. We have about 250 members. So we can really put a dent into the costs that are going to undoubtedly come up for Christy. And I think this is a great way to do it. So one, you can sign up for the Open, submit your score, and then come to Saturday, do the workout there. And just by doing that, you're already giving back.
Not mutually exclusive to each other. So you got to, each person can get up to $10 donated on their behalf, or even just $5 for doing one of them.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to track all of that. We're going to have a little leaderboard. We can see what the donations are. It'll be cool. It's something you can just click on and see, okay, where are we at just from showing up and having a great time in the gym. It's going to be Marvel themed. Christy loves Marvel. So we got some really cool surprises, some visuals, some fun in-gym experience. Bring the kids, bring everybody. Let's just have a great time, right? Let's just have a blast doing it.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. If you're trying to figure out what can you do to help, you're probably already going to do it anyway. Right. You're already giving back. So it's really just the best bang for your buck that you can do. And F cancer.
I just thought of one other thing. If you do not do either of those two things, you don't want to do either one of those two things for whatever reason, even though, look, listen, we can talk about why you should do the Open all day. But if you want to come and just help us with judging, and if you give us 2 heats of judging, that's another $5. All right. So if you're not going to do either one of those, and you can just say, hey, listen, I'll show up. You may not even be a member of CrossFit Trivium. You just want to come in and help us out with the event. Another $5.
All right. So share this with all your friends so they can hear this, so they can show up, and we can give more money to Christy and help out.
Cool.
Yeah, let's get going.
All right, man. Let's get into the topic. So I know we were throwing some other topics around. We do this every week. Matt usually brings a couple topics, and then we talk about what to do. And so we had a lot going on this week. Decision fatigue on what we wanted to talk about. We've had several things we wanted to get through. Given that we are in CrossFit Open season, by the time this comes out, we're 2 days till the Open.
Till we do it, right?
Yeah, till we all do the Open, right? All of that stuff. Topic today is what's a good goal for the CrossFit Open, right?
And I think this really kind of piggybacks off of last week. We said, what's the ideal member? And then now we're kind of looking at what is the ideal athlete, or what is the ideal result going into the Open. I think you can break this down, or we've broken it down into kind of 4 different categories. We have, this is my first time, I'm brand new. You have our kind of everyday athlete, and then you have our more competitive athlete that just, we're not going to the games, but we enjoy the sport of CrossFit and we want to kind of participate. That almost equivalent to like, hey, I sign up for 5Ks, I like doing 5Ks.
Can I beat last year's score?
Different than like, I just like running. And it's like, some people like to run, some people like to sign up for 5Ks. There's just a little bit of a difference there. And then you have like your quarterfinal hopefuls and your elites. And each one has a clear difference of what their goals should be. And I think when we mess up, it's because we're not clear on what we should be doing, or maybe we're attacking the workout as if we're in a different category than what we actually are. I thought it'd be kind of fun just kind of figure out, well, what am I as an athlete? And maybe this podcast can be a good help to kind of plan out your next 3 weeks.
Yeah. So where do we want to start? Start obviously right at the top, Open, first time athlete.
Yeah.
Right. What are some of the, before we get into that, actually, what do you think the biggest mistake people make when setting a goal for the Open? And let's leave the elites out of it, right? And just saying, hey, what's your goal for the Open? And the immediate thing they go to that sort of ends up not being a really great option. Do you think that varies by?
Yeah, I think it varies. I think it depends on, again, who you are as an athlete. Some people are going to be like, when I think about bad goals, maybe they're already setting, I don't know, maybe it's a really good question, because I could say you have a end goal of, I want to finish in the top 5% or something like that. Well, if you are just now off the couch, I'm like, I don't know if that's a realistic goal. Let's figure out how to do that. I think when we think about prioritizing goals, it is mainly based around building a plan for the workout and executing on that plan. I think brand new athletes have no idea how to build a plan. And I think the everyday athlete has no idea to execute on the plan. And then as you get into more competitive, it is executing it, but better, and kind of goes from there. So that's kind of how I think about breaking it down.
Yeah, I was thinking in terms of like, if you only set a single linear goal of like my score, and you're like, hey, going into it, I know nothing about these workouts. I know that I've been training and all these things and I want to do well. I want to finish in this place. And that's your only goal. But you don't build any goals around that lead to the success of that goal. That can be a pretty big mistake. And so for me, I was just going with like, just blanket giving yourself this pressure, I've got to hit this or I'm not good enough, is a mistake leading into the goal. I see that a lot. And that's why I say that
I'll tell that with any athlete, no matter what level they are. It's like, you can't play defense in CrossFit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have no control of what everyone else is doing. So you can say like, I want to win this workout. And it's like, you have no control of that. You can only do the best that you can. And if someone does it better than you, you can't intercept their pass. You can't block their shot. You can't foul them underneath the goal. Like, they're going to do what they're going to do. So you have to do what you're
it's
going
against
do.
You.
There are very few people that can actively say that I'm trying to win this, and those people, we attack it completely differently.
Yeah.
So,
all right, well, let's get into it. First time open athletes.
Yeah. So I think let's talk about the goals. What should you want to do if you're a first time athlete? I think the very first goal is submit all your scores. You will see, if you just watch the trend, the first week, highest amount of scores submitted. And then week 2, less. Week 3, significantly less. If you look at statistically, I'm just going to throw a number out there. You're probably only going to get 70 to 75% of the people who signed up for workout 1 to actually submit a score in workout 3. And I think it stinks on a couple of terms, because 1, you don't get the full breadth of how you did.
The data point of the whole picture.
Exactly. So if you're looking for trends year over year over year, you're missing out on an opportunity. And this is your baseline test. This is your first open. We've got people that have been doing it for 10 years, and they can track that data over and over and over again. And for you to miss out on that just because you don't like putting your score out there, because I think sometimes we feel a little reluctant to put a bad score on the leaderboard, you're missing out on an opportunity on that. Other goals should be, how to just learn how to move properly, because maybe we've kind of gotten away with not moving well, or not really understanding a standard of like a handstand push-up comes around. It's like, oh, if your feet come off, then it doesn't count. And it's like, oh, I didn't know that. And it could be because you truly didn't know, because you're brand new, or we've neglected that throughout the few workouts you've done so far. So learning the sport and learning the standards, I think, is really good. And then finishing out with just, I think the like cherry on top is learning how to finish strong in a workout. And that goes into what we talk about, just our typical downfalls as well. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think those are all great. I think the 3-score submission, there's a ladybug there. There's always reasons why people don't. I think some of it is wanting to put a score out there. We talk about the week 1 to week 3 trend on how 30% of people just kind of drop off. I know for me, I've forgotten at least once. Like literally just, I got busy and I forgot. It's not often, but I know people forget, because it's not, it's just not on their mind, or they forget the time frame. Some people think we're submitting the score for them. For sure. Like they hand us the scorecard and they're like, oh, I did it. We can't.
I don't know.
We validate the score, but we can't submit it for you. And then 3, the third workout might be really hard, or have a skill that you're not very good at.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why do I put my score? I got 1 chest to bar. Why would I put my score in? Next year, you might get 10.
I can tell you exactly why, right? It's like, 1, chest to bar, because you're right. The third workout in the past, let's say 3-4 years, typically has been the higher skill workout, right? Last year, I think it was last year that we had like the wall walk, the row wall walk. I don't know, just you're upside down a lot more. And so you have less opportunity to RX the workout. And that's a tough thing I'd like to kind of get into in a little bit later, of like, should I RX or should I scale? And it's like, as far as putting your score up there, putting an RX score is going to be significantly more valuable than a scale. So let's go back to it. If the chest to bar is the very first movement and your score is 1, Well, you have beaten everyone who cannot physically do a chest to bar pull up. So that's a big number. And it's like, you should be proud of that because we want to honor skills. Traditionally, old school CrossFit, they would honor skill over weightlifting over anything else. And we've kind of gotten away from that where it's like they want to honor conditioning more, what's your ability to do burpees and dumbbell snatches, more so than your ability to do box jumps and bar muscle ups, something like that. But yeah, I think we should be submitting our scores. We should be proud of whatever our score is because, again, it's just a snapshot of your fitness for that day. It does not define you for the rest of your year. But over year, you can start to see where you've gotten better or where trends are, where you're like, I tend to not do great on X. Well, this year I can actually focus on this, or I can go find a coach to help me with this. And then that's only enhancing your fitness.
Yeah, and then when you get into skills, right, especially if it's your first one, you're going to quickly learn the ones you do and don't have. Maybe you've been avoiding them in class, maybe for whatever reason. And now it's like, I've seen more often than not somebody get into this situation and just be like, man, I want to do this now.
Yeah.
Now I'm annoyed. Now I'm motivated. Now I'm like, I'm going to go get this done. And then the next year that skill shows up and they've got it.
Heck yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that's the best. That's what you want. And that's the motivation to finally sit down and do something hard.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's different for everyone, right? Like double unders is always the one. It's like, we try to tell you they're coming. And you just kept doing single unders when I think you could do a few, and now you wish you could have. And it's like, all right, well, day one starts now, and let's go. Let's get better at it. And next year, you're going to start.
And we're not talking about injury. We're talking about like just the skill of working on and doing it. I always, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but one of my favorite things about the Open is seeing someone get their first chest to bar, get their first muscle up, figure out their double. And that the excitement that happens there has nothing to do with the score.
Right.
It's the excitement of that thing happening. It does reflect on the leaderboard, and that's cool, and that's awesome. And you're gonna, whatever, place higher or lower. But man, the excitement around last year, I think it was Camille Klein. She's been a member here for 9 years. Got her first bar muscle up.
Yeah,
she had ring muscle up. She had all these things. Could not get a bar muscle, and it happened during the Open, and it was awesome.
I think some advice for first timers, if they're worried about their score, I would ask anyone who got sixth place in the Open last year.
Right. Yeah.
I bet you even less know who got second. And it's like
who got 600th.
It's like who cares? It is very important to you. And I think it should be. But you're just looking at a trend, and it's just a data point. It's like, cool. I was 700th last year. I was 640th this year. Like, sweet.
Yeah, right, so make it a goal, right? All three scores go in, and guess what? You do that. That's $15 that goes to Christy's fund too. So we're making it meaningful for somebody else, right? You're contributing to the community and meaningful for your own fitness journey.
You're almost making your money back if you do it.
Literally, it's like you get that piece back. And then, so scores, I mean, we could probably talk a very long time just on that. Standards. Let's talk about learning the standards and why that happens in the Open sometimes more than we see in class.
I think the mass majority of athletes aren't doing anything malicious or intentional. I think there are some, but I think the majority of us just don't realize how we're moving until we're kind of put under a little bit tighter microscope of having a judge there. And we're saying, hey, if we're going to put our stamp of approval on this workout, we want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And that means the finer things of a good lockout at the top. A thruster is not a push jerk where you're, just those little things. You just kind of clean it up a little bit.
My favorite is I always say it when I coach, is like, guys, it's called the toes to bar, not a toes near bar.
Yeah, or almost.
Got to make contact.
Like wall balls, you see like these movements that sometimes we take for granted because they're a little bit more simple. But now that we are, again, putting your score somewhere, we just want to make sure that we can compare apples to apples. And so learning those standards really help. CrossFit does a great job of saying, most of the time, CrossFit does a great job of saying like, hey, here's what we're looking for in the standard. And here's a video of them completing it. All right, go do that. And then we will go back and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. Judges are going to be looking for this. You try to do it this way. Cool. And then we'll go back and like, this is some common faults. If you're this person, don't be this person today. Again, no one's like disregarding that. They're like, oh, I didn't know that you had to start at the hang for a hang power clean. Like, no, deadlift the bar first. And then go back down. It's like,
and we do a good job of at every heat, right? We're going to, hey, here's the standard. We're briefing the judges before, guys, look for this, give one warning and then no rep, those types of things, because it is a little different than class. There is one person, it's 1-to-1, not 1-to-15, right? And in a class, it's 1-to-15 and the coach is giving cues, but they're not standing over you going 1, 2,
no rep.
3. Right. And that's happening now. So that is different, right? And whereas you may be hitting just above parallel in class on a few reps, And it's fine.
Yeah.
You're working through it and whatever. You're not doing it maliciously, but there's not someone telling you, nope, that one didn't count. And now you got to redo it.
Right.
So even getting used to that stuff, we'll do a brief with the judges. Before every heat, we'll do a brief with the athletes. Here's what we're looking for. Here's what you got to do. So don't be surprised when they say that, right? So for first timers, you don't necessarily have to spend a Friday night going over all the homework and making sure, familiarize yourself with it, but we're going to make that experience good for you in the gym, to be able to do those things.
So what do you think are some common mistakes for a brand new athlete coming into the Open?
Yeah, first timers, depends on who you are. Coming out just zero strategy, total guns blazing, not listening to a coach tell you where and what to do, and just being like, that alarm bell goes, everything takes over, and you come out firing. That's one we see. We see that in class too, but I think that from an Open perspective,
absolutely,
we see that one a lot. I also think setting unrealistic goals for yourself with it. Okay. Right? Coming in and just being like, yeah, well, and in class I do this. Or I think I'm this type of an athlete, and then setting this unrealistic goal that you can't achieve. And what happens is it becomes demoralizing. And then by week 2, you're like, well, I didn't make my goal. Why should I do the third workout?
Sure. And even building off of that, I didn't reach my goal. And like, well, what was your goal? I don't know. Do better. And it's like,
beat this guy.
Exactly. And it's like, you didn't have a goal to begin with. You just want to do good. And it's like, what's the tangible side of it? It's like, realistically, did you think you could get 6 rounds? It's like, okay, then let's game plan for that. And that goes into it. Yeah, I agree. I think the big downfall is going too hot. I think another one too is you will watch the Open announcement and you're like, well, those guys make it look really easy. I'll just do what they do, right? It's like, okay.
You got 10 rounds. Surely I can get 8.
Yeah, it's like, okay, they did touch and go. All right, so yeah, I'll do that because it was so fast and they look good. And it's like, you have no business doing what they were doing on that. And it's crazy because for one, they're doing it with 10 minutes notice. And so they're just doing the best that they can. And even still, these guys are professionals at it, or girls are professionals at it. They know how to control their pace. They know when it's too hot or too slow, and they know when to pick it up. We do not have that skill in our brains because we work out 1 hour a day, not 7. So if you watch the Open announcement, which is always fun, just look at it as entertainment. Do not look at it as the cheat code to breaking the workout.
Think about when you watch an NBA game, how easy it looks for them to dunk. Now go stand under a hoop and ask yourself if you can do that just because it looked easy. It's the same thing. It looks very easy on TV.
Right.
But these are people that have dedicated their lives to this and the ability to do that. So, I think, first timers, let's submit all the scores, learn the standards. What do you mean by finish confident? I know what I think of that. Like, it's like I try to save 60 seconds of reserve to know, like, I'm not emptying the tank until 60 seconds. I'm constantly pushing the line, but I will empty the tank on the last 30, 40, whatever, so that when I'm done. What do you mean?
I look at it a little bit more intrinsically. I just want you to be proud of what you did. Okay. And from an effort standpoint, it's like, man, even if it didn't go the way you wanted to, you gave it your all, whatever that looks like. Mm-hmm. Even if you bonked 3 minutes into a 20-minute workout, but you rallied, threw up, got back in there and kept going. It's like, I want you to build that confidence of not giving up and just doing things that are hard and then continuing to work through that. And that's where, when you finish with confident that that may not have been my best score, but that was my best effort, then I think that's really good because you can take that into things that are well outside of the gym and go and do that.
So it's really effort based. It's absolutely. Like, hey, what did you give into that personally? And if you walk away from that 10-minute, 12-minute, 8-minute workout and you're like, it may not have been the score I thought I was going to get. I know that I left it all. I did everything I could. That's something to be so proud of because you're doing hard things and you're finishing them. Yep. And that's a big deal. So but we spent the first 10 minutes talking about the first timers. I think that's good because I think that's who we want to talk to for the most part is like, hey, why should you do this? The first timer of like, come on in, right? You
like surprise.
Yeah, exactly. You're convincing someone to do something, but there's so many benefits and we like to talk about those and the second, third, fourth, fifth year. They get it, and they're coming in with a different perspective of what that might look like. So let's move on to the everyday Trivium athlete, the people 3 to 5 to 4 times a week in the gym. They understand it.
I think simple goals here for our Gen Pop athlete is like, hey, I want to see improvement year over year. So if we have submitted scores last year, some of it is out of our control, but let's just say our trend of last year I finished in X position. I want to try to do better this year. And so you can actually put a more tangible goal of, I finished, let's say 1000th in America. It's like, okay, cool. I want to see if I can do better there. Again, you don't have control of that, but if you've been training all year, if you've been working out consistently all year, we can anticipate that you are going to do better because you only developed more skills. You've only developed more fitness.
Yeah.
So now you just go out there. I think some goals here too is you're not a rookie anymore. So we're expecting you to kind of understand when you see a workout, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? If it's not good for me, how do I make the most out of it? And you start to work with your coaches a little bit more on how should I pace this workout? I know for me, I'm going to watch the pros do it. And then it's like, okay, they were doing a round every 90 seconds. We're going to do a round every 2.5 minutes.
Don't do your first round in 90 seconds.
If you finish your round in 80 seconds, you have messed up. Our everyday athletes will understand that a little bit more. And so we can actually start to build a game plan on how to break things up. And okay, I at least understand I'm not going to go unbroken on my pull-ups. Okay, let's do sets of 5. The counter to that is you'll get our everyday athletes, they will have the game plan. I'm like, you got it. Get out there, bucko. I'm so proud of you. And then they immediately go unbroken on the pull-ups. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was feeling good.
It felt good, coach. I'm like, of course it felt good. It's the first round. Exactly what it's supposed to feel like. However, we are game planning for the back halves. But that's what makes it fun too, because you get caught in the race. You know, you got your gym buddy to the side of you and you're just like, I'm just going to try to pull them into the deep end.
Yeah.
Little did you know they're pulling you into the deep end the whole time. And then you both figure out, hey, we're both not fit enough to go this fast. And so now you're just crawling to the finish line. So I think, it's fun. At that point, I do look at it as like signing up for a 5K. It's like, yeah, you can try to sprint the first mile if you want to. Like
you got a strategy. It might be risky.
You know what's going to happen. But if you're down for that, then go for it. But if you're looking for the best score, then, hey, let's try to figure out what your mile split should be and let's go attack that. So from a goal standpoint, yeah, definitely we want to try to do a little better. We want to work on our pacing a little bit more. I think for some Trivium athletes, it's like, I want to be able to RX every workout. I think that's a big goal. And that's where you see like, can I get my first bar muscle up?
Yeah.
Technically, we could probably get away with RXing every workout if I just do 1 rep. But you want to feel like I can do the workout. And so I think that's a huge
You can do the
goal.
rep for the score or you can do the work for the workout, right? So I totally get that. And I like when they're at the end of, so you get a whole body of work and then you get a try.
Sure.
It's tougher when it's like the first movement is ring muscle up.
Yeah. The problem I have with this though is like these goals should have been set like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
If you have this goal now, if you're listening to it and like, all right, I'm ready to set my goals, you only have 2 days to figure out if you can do this or
You're
not.
limited with what those goals are and how realistic they can be as opposed to someone who's, I would say probably in the next tier, the more competitive side of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an everyday person, setting goals that are around performance can be a lot harder.
Sure.
Right? Because you have to be realistic with yourself on what those are going to be built around. So I think, you said it, but it's like progress.
Mm-hmm.
What does progress look like? Doesn't always equal the placement you were talking about, but if you can look at progress as the win, wherever you're at, for me, I used to be pretty competitive. And that was all of my goals were built around that. I remember having goals to hit the top 500. And then when I turned masters, it was like, I want to be in the top 200, this group of whatever. And I built all of my training all year round for that. Right. And then this was the event to do that. I don't do that anymore. Now it's workout. I'm dealing with injuries. I'm doing things. So I'm looking for what are things I couldn't do last year during the Open, and I want to do them this year. Mm-hmm. Things even that I used to be able to do very well, but I can't right now. It's like I'm looking for progress that's a win for me. Double unders is something I've been working on because of my ankle. So I've been seeing Chris at Be Ready. I've been doing all these things to prep for bounding and seeing that progress. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to get that progress in the Open. I think that's a really big win.
Absolutely. When I think about, like, I was kind of going into a tangent of downfalls, like what do people do? I think we're still in that same category with the everyday athlete of doing something that you don't normally do before prepping for it. This goes definitely into newbies as well. But if you're not a big warmer upper, don't turn into one now because you're going to wear yourself.
Different.
Yeah. Like if I build out a 20-minute warm up for this workout, but you typically come in and then get going
and step in the ring.
Maybe like do a little bit more than that, but don't go into like, oh, I got to get my heart rate up to this, and then I got to do this, and I got to cool down, then I got to have my gummies to get my blood sugar in the right spot, then I got to do one more kind of prep, and then go. It's like no, just
what do you normally do?
Yeah, okay, go do that. We warm up in class for about 6 to 7 minutes. then go into a specific prep of do the movements a little bit. Then we do a little mini round, and then we're good. 10 minutes in, we're ready to rock and roll. That's
so
probably
it's
all
try
we
to keep it as normal as
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely.
Right? You're not coming in and having this grand plan that's somehow going to give you the ability to do something you don't have.
Right.
Keep it normal.
Right.
You're mentally going to respond to that. Your body's going to respond to that. Do those things, right? Grab some advice, things like that.
Cool.
All right, let's move on. Let's hit the competitive and elite pretty quickly. We're 26 minutes into this, so let's talk about the competitive athlete.
So quarterfinals is the second tier of, I would still call it the Open. They're going to take the top 25% worldwide, and this is individuals and age groups. And then you're going to get another series of workouts to do.
Yeah.
For some of us, this is just our goal. I want to be eligible to do quarterfinals, even if I don't do quarterfinals, but I want to finish in the top 25% of my division, and that allows me to do the next kind of series of workouts. I think it's a really good goal to have for most people that are doing the workout, doing the Open a little bit more competitively. It's still not that hard.
Yeah.
You think 25%, you got a 1 in 4 chance in your gym to be, top 25%, and we're a pretty competitive gym. So if you are in the top 25% of our gym, you're probably okay going into quarterfinals. However, if you're one of those fringe athletes, maybe you're a little bit new, but you've kind of done CrossFit before, and you're that's just a goal that you've had. This is where it actually starts to make sense of, should you start repeating workouts? Because now we are going to look at tangible things of top 25%, maybe 12,000th place worldwide. You scored 13,000. But we know if we can get 10 more reps, you could be 10,000.
Yeah, you tripped 14 times on your double unders. All you got to do is trip 7. Let's do that one.
Let's do
you know
that.
what I mean?
And
That's an easy low-hanging fruit repeat.
Exactly.
Not, I got to shave 5 seconds off. I was dying. I don't know where I'm going to find it.
Right.
It's
like,
it's clear you can find it.
You can't lift 255 pounds. That's just not going to happen. Don't worry about it. But if there's
strategic redos,
if there's opportunity to redo workouts, this is a great way to start to learn how to repeat. Because back in the old days, when there were 5 workouts and you went straight to regionals, everybody's repeating these workouts 2-3 times in a weekend.
Even those of us that had no business doing it, we're repeating
because you knew everyone else was, right? Everyone else is repeating it. You're like, well, I don't want them to beat my score.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and do it too. And so that was just the way things worked back then. Now with 25% instead of 25 athletes, it's way more forgivable to not execute really well. But again, there are always going to be that fringe that, like, I'm the 30th percent and I need to be top 25%. Okay, now let's try to clean these up a little bit more. So if you're competitive in that sense, this is where it does make sense to repeat workouts. But for most people, if you're RXing these workouts, you have a really strong opportunity already to qualify for quarterfinals, because it's going to include everyone. If you go back to the beginning of this, even the people who do not submit their scores, they count on a leaderboard. They just get a last place. So if you submit your scores, you're already
automatically bumped up
everyone else who didn't do it. If you submit an RX score, you're already better than everyone else who submitted a scale score. So you have ways to actually improve your scoring without necessarily being super crazy fit. So if you think 25% is unobtainable, work with us a little bit more. I promise we can get you close if you can do the things.
And I think most people, if they are at that level, understand a lot of that and have the ability to receive good coaching or ask the question, should I redo this? What do you think? And then really kind of think those things through. But we have a lot of resources at Trivium. You got a lot of good people you can talk to. Talk to them.
Should these athletes be doing it on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so.
But what about our transitions?
What do you mean? Oh, like those types of things? For those athletes, we'll put them in the right heat to make sure they get their bar and that kind of thing. I think you're shortchanging yourself by not committing and doing those things, because there's a level of adrenaline, performance, all of those things that are going to come into play when you've got people that know that this matters to you and they're going to cheer for you, rally you, want to push you a little harder. So the 2 seconds you save by putting your bike closer, you're going to gain it by having 50 people screaming in your face to do better.
Absolutely. I think we stress about transitions so much that you forget that in a nice way, you're not that fit. You could probably use the extra 3 steps to get to the rower the way we have it set up so that you can pace it well. On top of, you have your peers doing it with you, which I think is very positive. On top of, you have your peers cheering for you and want to see you succeed. So if you are doing this by yourself in the open gym, just so you can have a good setup, I don't think that's going to necessarily mean you're going to have the best score. I get it if you are stressed about being around a lot of people and that makes you anxious and that makes you not perform well. Absolutely. However, I would say, well, but you're trying to compete. you're going to have to be used to being around people while they do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, number one, when you're competing live, there's people around you. All those things are going on. Two, adaptability, the ability like in workout to have something maybe go wrong or not be ideal and to mentally push through that piece, I think also matters. So I just think you're shortchanging yourself if you don't take it that way. And look, if you're at that level, we just talked about it. Redos are a thing. If something goes wrong, you can redo it. I think you should do it.
There's no
downside.
There's no other opportunity to have so many people cheering for you.
Right.
And you just don't get that in any facet of a lot of your life that you're doing. Even if you are competing at the next level, not everyone's cheering for you to succeed. In this scenario, in these 3 workouts, you have an entire gym just wanting to see you do your best. They don't care what your score is. They don't care if you win or lose by your definition. They just want to see you try really hard, and they're going to help do that. Why would you not want to participate in something like that?
I agree.
Simple with the elites, the Open doesn't matter. Don't repeat. Don't worry about it. You really need to know that this is the beginning of a very long season. If you are a quote unquote elite, I would say in our definition is that you plan on participating in semifinal competitions, because that's pretty elite. But to execute in the Open is only just to express your fitness in that moment. You want to put your best foot forward, but you should not be designing your entire week around it. You're going to see the workout. You're going to be intrigued by it. You're going to put your best foot forward, and then you're going to get back into training, because quarterfinals is what matters for you.
Yeah.
And even in that, quarterfinals only matters to a certain point. We just want to make sure that we are peaking to put our best scores at quarterfinals, so that you have your best seeding going into semifinals.
The third round.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So some of us are really trying to get into that last heat in the first day. After that, your quarterfinal score doesn't even matter. You're really just trying to make sure that you're staying injury-free, you're not getting fatigued as far as burnout. And I think this is a great time. Elites should be doing this in the gym with like what we're doing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it. Make sure that
they're going to be in the top 25%.
Right. Just get your video. If you're worried about videoing, make sure that we set everything up for that. We accommodate that all the time, and have fun with some friends, because what do you got to lose?
Yeah. And listen, you're building support as an elite, I'm not an elite. If you're an elite, that's not what I meant to say. If you're an elite and you're training in a gym, in a community, you want that support from that community in rounds 3 and when you get to the CrossFit Games and when you go to those things. And the best way to do that, this is coming from a gym owner, the best way to do that is to make yourself part of that community, to go in, do the workout with them, let them cheer you on, because they're going to remember that moment where they got to stand next to you in the gym and watch you do burpees when you're on that television screen in the CrossFit Games, and they're buying the ticket to go watch you and do those things. That's the support you want. So I think that's super important.
Quickly, what do you think your prediction for the first Open workout is?
Prediction for the first workout, I think it's going to be very accessible. I'm going to go, how about I just give you 3 movements?
That's fine.
I think just 3 movements. I think we're going to see a dumbbell movement, something with a dumbbell. I'm going to go lunges.
Okay.
We're going to see lunges. We're going to see burpees. And we're going to see shuttle runs.
Yeah, probably not wrong there. I did see a leak. It's going to be a 10-minute workout, supposedly. So we'll see that. It's a 10-minute AMRAP. Maybe, but I agree. It's trending to be very accessible because they want people to sign up.
Yeah, maybe burpees instead of shuttle. It's those.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we see a throwback to like wall balls and rowing, just because I want to be different. But you're probably right. But I'll say like
somewhere's
Anyway, but so if you got some predictions, see how close we are. But I think it's going to be a 10-minute AMRAP of something, and let's just go and put a rower in the first one.
Okay. Yeah, throw a machine in there. Yeah. So all right, we're ending up. We started off with what's a good goal. Just take us out, reframe. What's that success look like? Just kind of encapsulate it for us real quick.
Yeah, goal number 1 is submit your scores, no matter who you are, no matter what level you are. Submit your scores. Goal number 2, come to Saturday Smackdowns, because that's also $5 that we're donating to Christy. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an elite, that helps. And I think that's a greater purpose than anything else that we could be doing. Outside of that, let's learn how to pace workouts. Let's learn how to game plan, and then see if we can execute. And that's we do that for everyone. You're going to have a good Open. You're going to have your best results. And then you have the best data point to go year over year.
Yes, I think summarize that. It's prioritize execution of the things, not placement on the leaderboard. Yeah. If you prioritize execution, you'll probably get and be happy with the other side of it. So
and have fun.
Yeah, have a blast. That's overall, man. Have fun.
Yep.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
What are we doing here?
We'll see you guys in the gym. As always, show up, work hard, show up, work hard, be kind. See you in the gym.
See ya.
Trivium Talk Podcast. Hey, big facts. Bad jokes, all gas. Whoa. Turn it up, talk it out, let it clash. Trivium.